crafters and paper artisans, it's Chandra with Stockton Stuff. I am here to share a swap for Halloween. I am doing the Witch Please group swap hosted by the Cheeky Bum, Lacey. And we had to do a layered memory dex card, I missed my sequence mix. I got to go back and do that. The sequence mix, a beaded item, a set of 2 each of embellishments that are potion bottle, brooms, cauldron, witch's hat, and then package it in some witchy way. So I really use just a hodgepodge of paper. One of my favorite colors at Halloween is purple, so there's a lot of purple in my swap. I used a hodgepodge of papers, a hodgepodge of SVGs. I didn't really do a lot of die cutting. But I did want to bring out these 2 pieces that I was consistent with throughout. This color block glitter paper, this set is called Gumdrop, that I got from Ollie's, and I really liked it because, it had that lime green, purple, and this deep kind of orange that I thought was great for Halloween. So I did use that, and then I used these Paige Evans. They're the trick and treats enamel stickers. So this was brand new, so you can see I used quite a few of those throughout. But the first thing I did was my packaging, because I wanted to make sure that the way I packaged each set of things was going to fit in what I wanted to do. So I did my scrap chick. Cindy G is the designer or creator of this SVG in myscrapchick.com, and I did the witch's boot. And so I'm going to lay it down so you can see the whole thing. And so I enlarged it because I figured I at least got to be able to get the memory dex card in there. So I enlarged it to see if I could, get it bigger so that I could put my whole swap inside. And this is paper from just a pad that has nothing to do with Halloween. I use my glitter out of this Gumdrop, the collection I just showed you. These are flowers from my stash, and this one is as well. And then I got this purple and white twine from the Dollar Tree, and then I had these little purple suns that I had picked up, kind of celestial gem that I picked up from Hobby Lobby, I think. And I think I got them on clearance, and I just held on to them thinking I might use them at Halloween. And then I just stuck a bell in the middle, but I kind of put a little hot glue because it was sliding all around, so it's not going to just ring all the time. And the flowers on the other side. Now I did, and that's the thing about hot glue, you get these strings. I have this shiny cardstock, and so I did that on the heel because I thought it kind of looked like, and on the back that it kind of looked like, a leather look. And then I did velvet on top of it here instead of a printed paper like you might see on the website. So I did velvet because I just thought, the witch may have a velvet boot. And then this is from another collection that I have in my stash that I'm almost done with. I just keep using a little bit here and there. So it is shades of purple, and it is pretty deep and pretty wide. So hopefully I can get everything in there. I haven't tried yet. So I'll try to go in order. And the first thing was the memory dex card. Now because I have swapped with Lacey before, I only did the memory decks for the swap partner because she has memory decks and the ATCs from me. And so this was a treat box image, and I decided to just use the images and put it on the memory dex card. And this memory dex card shape I have in my in my SVG files. And so I thought it fit well with the moon to fit right up there on that circular part. And then this Switch Please came from another SVG that you'll see in a moment. And I did not size it well, but on this one, because I kind of thought about it the last minute and it was getting late. And then I used this is a set. I should have brought that too. This is like a mirrored and glitter came together in a set. And I cannot think of the name of it, but anyway. And then I used the black glitter that I had in my stash because that I bought also at Ollie's, but they were selling it in single sheets, and it just kind of has a kind of purplish glittery look to it, and I liked it. And then this was just a scrap in my it was basically a half a page from an old Michaels pad that was in my box, and so I was able to cut it because I like the stars and the tree to kind of look like it's outside in the sky. And which is why I use this, and this was a Halloween paper too. I think it was a Doodlebug or Simple Stories, and I figured she's in the sky, she's above the clouds, and so I did that. So there's that. And then the next thing I did was my beaded item, which I'm going to open up because I really want to show you. Actually, I want to show you the dangle part of it. So I had some pokey tools already in my stash. They come in a set of 2. And so I just used some Halloween beads. Last year, I think I did 2 or 3 embellishment box swaps. So I had so much, Halloween charms and all kinds of things. So I decided to use some of that. And then I made a dangle. And most of this stuff came from a swap. The only thing that didn't was there's my other celestial piece. And I think maybe these spider webs I might have bought, or the cauldron. I bought a couple of charms myself this year. But the rest of this I pretty much got from swaps. So there's that little broom, and I just added the purple star. There's a hat. This lab bottle that looks like it's got a ghost in there, but it also looks like it could be a tooth, who knows. And then I like this one because it was again that night sky with that yellow moon. And so there's my and so I just packaged it this way. I used I cut down a 3x4 piece of cut apart from a set and just stapled it to the top. I didn't do any fancy bag toppers. All right, so actually I think I'm gonna put them in my box as I go. All right, so that fits. And the next thing was the potion bottles. So I pretty much I made a set for Lacey, and I made a set, for my swap partner. And these are pretty much the same, so I'll just use the one that's open. And so I took these shapes from a 3D file that was also a Cindy G from my Scrap Chick, and I just used the front. I didn't need the whole box because I just needed to be able to do that. So I had some vintage labels because whenever I see a freebie, I get those daily freebies in my email from Creative Fabrica. If I see a freebie I think I'll save it and put it in my file, and I think that's where I got this from. Anyway, and so it is actually backed on just a shape just to hold it. So here's what it actually looks like. And I just wanted to be able to have them not sliding around because I have those wonky size Temu clear bags, and so nothing ever really fits. And then I just added some spider web. I had spider web, this sheer ribbon like trim, and then I put some trim there, and I backed that on the shadow. And then this was another one, a different set. So I just put this moth wings tonic, and then I had some webbed ribbon, and I just put some bling up there. And so that's my set of, I didn't do too much. That was a hard one, I think, for me, was doing the, so this is how I'm going to package them. I am going to put a little something on there. I had printed also some little vintage things, and if I see if I have one that fits, oh, I think I was going to use the Black Cauldron Bewitching Brews, because I also have this Witch's Kitchen Eat at Your Own Risk, and I have a cauldron, so I might use this one, but I'll probably do it like a belly band or something. All right, and then the next thing was my brooms, and I pretty much kept it simple. Packaged them like this because I knew I had a slim space, but that was tall. And so I had this tag, broom parking, 25 cents, and then all others will be towed, like turned into a toad. And so I did one with ribbon, and then I have those scissors that will fringe cut, and I just cut a straw in half that I already had in my stash. And then this one is black paper, and then I have this adhesive ribbon trim, and I wrap that around, and then I put some of those Paige Evans enamel dots and stars on there. And so that's that one. And then the next thing was the cauldrons. Again, I just backed them on a shape, a die cut shape, just to hold them up. So I already had some of these in my stash that I had made last year. I just made a bunch in all the Halloween colors. This cauldron actually is, looking at my notes, I wanted to make some notes so I give everybody credit. It is from a SVG called Witch Legs from Craft with Sarah. And she does these Halloween things every year, and I can't remember if it was this year's or last year's, but the cauldron actually has witch's legs coming out of it, but I just needed the cauldron. And then I used green heat embossing powder to just kind of give the bubbles some texture, and then I stamped Wicked in that as well. And then this Hocus Pocus is from Craftables, and I backed it on a clear doily because I wanted to make my bubbles. So it comes with these bubbles, but they're not attached to the cauldron, and I wanted to use them. And so I decided to use something clear in the background. Anyway, so I just used some ephemera and added some bats in the air because it smells good and they want to see what's cooking. So I did that, and so those are my cauldrons. And again, just kept it simple. I did put some little jimmies in the centers of those letters, those cutouts. And on the other one, I just did a darker purple, and I backed it on spiderweb doily. And I did Happy Halloween. It's actually a sticker. So that's that one. And then the next thing, all right, and the last piece of ephemera was the witch hats. And so I was so excited because first of all, I love a free SVG. So I'm always looking like, will I use this? Is this something I might use? But I didn't already have this one in my stash. And I found a SVG that was called Witch Please. And I was very excited about that. And so it is basically like a wind catcher. And it was from Barely Art Glue, and they do, I don't know if you ever get any SVGs from them. I do quite a bit. Sometimes the directions aren't really good on how to put things together, especially if it's 3D, but this, I just looked at the picture and was able to make it happen. And I double backed this because this hanging piece was a little flimsy and I wanted it to be a little sturdier. And so I basically pretty much designed it the way it was, except I swapped this. I kind of changed the flower on this, and they had like an eye in the middle, and I didn't really want to do that. And then but everything else except for color, I kept the same. And so I really love that. I thought it was really cute. And then I got this witch hat here, and it's unknown. I don't know where I got it. I didn't get it till September 16th of this year, so it's a new SVG. And I probably was looking for witch hats, and I just don't know where I got it from. And so anyway, it was really easy to do. I did cut the bottom layer in glitter so that it looked like the inside of the hat was glitter. And then the flowers, I use my Paige Evans jimmies to I did cut the centers, but I don't like those little pieces, and I thought that gave it some texture. And then I backed it on some really busy floral paper. But those are my two witch hats. And then this one, I love it because it says witch please, and that's the name of the swap. So that is all of my pieces. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.